Sungai Besi for Toyota Gazoo Vios Challenge Round 2, and it's a wet day. Normally rains in the afternoon, but today decided to pour in the morning. We're doing scrutineering for the cars, so this is the one and only scrutineering session to check over the car in terms of technical aspect as well as your racing gear. We should be starting practice in a couple of hours. First activity would be driver briefing, which is happening in about 10 minutes. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's all the doctors. Okay, so we're done with practice session 1. Wet session. Car was loose as hell because we set it up for the dry. But it's only a half an hour session, so I didn't take the opportunity to make any setup changes, which we are doing now, ready for the next session, which should be after lunch. But I think it's going to be dry. But then again, let's reset ourselves and try and set it up for the track. I mean, it did feel good before coming here, but I think the corners on this Bandar Malaysia track is a lot more flowing and way faster versus what we were trying to set it up to do. So we've got to drop or try and make the car not as nervous as it was previously. But all in all, first practice session was great. I think we were about a second off mid-pack. Good enough, so we will continue with session 2. Let's finish free practice 2, and track has dried out. We managed to clock the fastest time for the session. Car's feeling good, made some adjustments, tightened it up, and looks like we're all set for the weekend. I think for a dry setup, we are close to what we want, and maybe hoping for some rain at 5:30 for our official practice so that we could finalize our wet setup. It's a 50-50 for this weekend. It could be wet, could be dry, so we gotta be ready. Okay, so we just finished official practice. We are officially second, few tenths behind Mark Darwin, but I think I'm happy with the car. We ran it on new tires on the rear just to have a feel, because for qualifying tomorrow we have to run brand new tires on all 4 corners. So there's no opportunity to do any scrub-ins. So in terms of performance, we will need to ensure that we have the right setup for qualifying to get the most out of the vehicle. So overall, I'm happy with our session today. We had a bit of wet testing. It dried out for the next 2 sessions. Although it's pretty cool, Not a hot day, but still, overall performance of the car is good, and I am looking forward for tomorrow. So, wish us luck for qualifying.
This, and man, oh man, the highlights were insane coming in for the Super Sporting qualifying round. It was a very, very action-packed race, qualifying round here, as lots of these racers were able to attack some of these corners with tremendous amount of speed and crazy amount of control.
Exactly, and the thing is that, you know, put any kind of car, like a Toyota Vios, in the hands of these professional racing drivers, they can literally make it sing. And this is the crash here that occurred that put a pause into the qualifying session. Massive damage to that front left fender there from Boy Wong. And unfortunately, he had to sit out the rest of the qualifying. As a result, does stay in P7 though, having set a time of 117.8, which was difficult to overcome there for both Kennedy and Brendan Hall. And definitely. And they were also watching Mark Darwin here. At one point was very, very close to beating Djan for the pole position, but was not quite able to, because Djan, he was way, way better than everyone else here, literally pushing the car to the limit.
And we're going to be taking a look at the results. Tengku will be able to enjoy pole position here, followed by Mark Darwin, Freddie Ang, William Ho, Brendan Lim, Shafiq Ali, Boy Wong, Kenny Lee, and Brendan Paul are going to be the rest of our racers that are going to be placed from 2nd to 9th place in total. And gosh darn, was it such an interesting and very action-packed Super Sporting class qualifying session for all 9 races today.
Just completed qualifying session. We are officially in pole position for race 1. I got the lap on my first outlet, so it was the track temperature was pretty high to begin with, and I knew I only had that one opportunity, first or second lap, to actually gain that time, which I managed to do so, and held it for the whole half an hour session. First to third is really close, separating by 100th of a second, but we are in pole position, so looking forward to race 1.
Our final race of the day, it is going to be the Super Sporting class.
Yep, we're going to be looking at the highlights here. As I was saying, you know, when it came to the middle stage of this race, it pretty much became a race of maintenance, you know, just all about maintaining the pace, making sure you're able to keep up with the rest of the field and ensure that you actually make it all the way to the end. And pretty much all these drivers here did exactly just that.
Well, nicely done there, coming in for a lot of our drivers. We did see that big collision here. Look at that. That cost Brendan Lim his back bumper and a little bit of his front. So that definitely did play a big factor in terms of his performance, in terms of his vehicle's capabilities of taking some of these turns. Definitely can feel a little bit of resistance, especially when some of the aerodynamics of the vehicle have been tampered with after an accident,
but
after a collision.
But the thing is that he was still able to finish in P7, so I think that says a lot about how strong he is as a driver. He still didn't give up despite the situation being handed to him. So I think that it's definitely something that a lot of people can take to heart here, because, you know, even though situations can happen, you know, as long as he can just keep staying on the pace, keep racing on the track there, you can still somehow bring it in home, and be proud with that, because that was definitely a very difficult situation and he made the best of it.
A relatively incident-free Super Sporting class. However, we did see some scrapes and bruises experienced by some of the drivers here, especially from Shafiq Ali as well as Boy Wong. Sadly, Boy Wong had to retire from this race due to that small little collision, but it wasn't anything crazy in terms of what happened in our previous races.
I think the biggest loser of the races so far is actually the side mirrors. Like, we've been seeing so many of them being destroyed in all of these 3 races here. Like, the thing is that we've been seeing a lot of people, you know, that's the thing. We're pushing the limit so much, you know, you're bound to lose something in the end.
Let's take a look at done and dusted for now. Let's take a look at the entire results of the Super Sporting Race 1. It's going to Tengku from Trinity Motors that comes up on top at first spot. Mark Darwin from Laser Motor Racing at second spot. Third spot is going to go to Freddie Ang from Tengku Toyota.
We completed race 1 yesterday, started in pole position and finished first. Was a good run. We had a 5-6 second lead by the finish line. Cars running good, very consistent. I actually liked it. It's very consistent setup, so I'm very happy with the car and what the boys have done. We're looking forward for race 2 today. It's going to be tough, so it's a reverse grid for the top 6, so I'll be starting in 6th position. It's going to be difficult to get a top 3, I think, but you'll never know. More importantly is to collect points, so that's what we're going to do, collect points for the championship. Hopefully pull another point from the fastest lap, and we should be in contention for the championship. So looking forward to race 2.
Third position. Let's take a look at the highlights before we continue on. And this was the start of the race. As you can see, beautiful start of our race. Our drivers here with a little bit of a collision that was experienced there early on by William Ho as well as Brendan Lim.
Yeah, William Ho, excuse me. There was William Ho who actually ended up into the wall there, but there was a rear end contact that he had there, I think, with car number 86. And then this was a side-by-side we saw between Brendan Lim and Mark Darwin as he came along the runway, but then one of them had to give way there, and unfortunately it was Brendan Lim who had to give through there to allow Mark Darwin to but that allowed Mark Darwin to maintain the four. Then we saw for the almost a crazy Brendan Hall expertly defending not against just one but 2 guys, as this was where Brendan Lim actually attempted to make a move there but failed completely, thus wrecking his own car and wrecking his own race. And for the rest of it, you know, we were witnessing how Djan was able to get past Shafiq Ali, and not only that, Mark Darwin as well in order to take that podium position.
This is beautifully done here. This was most of the fight for 5th and 6th spot between Brendan Hall and Boy Wong. It was beautifully done between both of them as they were jostling for 5th and 6th spot respectively, but beautiful attack attempts here coming in from the side of Boy Wong. However, Brendan Hall was just a little bit ahead and was not going to allow any advancement coming in from the side of Boy Wong.
Yeah, and you want to know what else is also actually really impressive, because we did mention this before the start of the race here, as we see Mark Darwin attempting to make that move at that last turn there. You know, like actually both Djan and Mark Darwin are carrying an extra 25 kilograms of weight. So you just imagine, like, you're already at a handicap now with the amount of weight you have, and still they're still able to make those kind of moves on track. That is certainly something to be to admire from these drivers.
Beautifully done there. As you can see, that turnaround pass coming in from the side of Mark Darwin to the jubilations and celebrations of his pit team. Definitely applause is the cause for the cause for applause for the pit crew, definitely, as Mark Darwin handily attacks Shafiq Ali as he heads into that last checkered flag. Beautifully done from the side of Mark Darwin, and applause coming in from members of the pit crew. Nicely done as celebrations and fist bumps in the air.
So here are the final results. Kenny Lee takes the win here for Bugatti Racing in P1. In P2, we have Djan of 23 Motors taking P2 here. Mark Darwin from Laser Motor Racing taking
We completed
P3.
race 2. We finished second after starting 6th on the grid. It was a great race for me. I managed to make up places all the way to the end. I couldn't catch the front car. There was a good gap, and I was trying to push and my tires were overheating. I had to cool down and then push again, but the gap was too big for me to claw back. But I'm very happy with second place. We've got the championship points. We are leading the championship now after round 2. So I'm super stoked on that and looking forward to the next race, which will be in February. So see you then.